the night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark. Oh, can't talk in the day. The night part. JASL, JASL, JASL after dark.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. This is JASL After Dark, brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. This is season 12, and this is episode 9. I'm your host, Calvin. Of course, I'm excited to be back for these candid conversations every Wednesday night. JASL After Dark is brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, and we're live right here on YouTube and on TikTok. With me, as usual, is my co-host, Crystal. Crystal, what going on?
Hey Calvin, my dear, we plan to do the most tonight, but that's not the tonight energy. I'm going to be a nice little vibe, so I'm excited. How's you doing?
Me is doing good.
Me is fine.
Good. Yeah, me is fine.
Yeah.
Well, not as fine as
the gorgeous
guest.
Queen right here, guest.
I'll take it. Good night. Good night. How you doing?
So this evening we will be discussing the topic sex confidence.
And to share in tonight's discussion, we have with us activist and advocate Shelly-Ann Weeks. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always a pleasure to be here after dark.
Absolutely. Shelly-Ann is definitely no stranger to the After Dark show, so always good to have you on the show.
And I especially love the topic tonight. I usually invite me here to talk about bad behavior, but this is a good one. I like this.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a steaming conversation, but before we get into the steaming conversation, it's time for Hot Pot.
No, sir. This catching act. I'm hungry. I'm gonna want something juicy to eat. Away in the pot.
It's time for Hot Pot.
Hot pot.
Hot Pot. Hot Pot.
No, sir. This catching act.
Hot Pot.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna want something juicy to eat. Away in the pot.
It's time for Hot Pot.
Hot pot.
Hot Pot. Hot Pot.
No, sir. hungry. I'ma want something juicy.
So there are always some topics that are interesting and somewhat controversial. So each week we dip into our hot pot to find a topic to discuss. And of course, our guest for this week, Shelly, is gonna dip into.
So I get no protective gear to go into the hot pot. I just dip my hand in there
I
and
mean,
burn myself.
that's what we do promote
Right,
using
we do.
protective. gear.
Right? And on that note,
Listen.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
But
imaginary
yeah,
protection
yeah,
is
this
there.
one don't need the yeah. Ooh, yeah.
in the pot, huh? All right.
Yes.
Let me see what I keep.
All right.
Oh, so I'm supposed to just read what's
Yes.
on the paper?
Yes.
All right. Hey, hey. Ooh. Should married women go on weekend long girl trips with their single friends? Who's supposed to answer the question?
Are you?
Anybody here married?
All right.
All right, so listen. Since you're afraid, we're not
No,
afraid.
we're not afraid at all.
All right.
Yeah.
Grown people can do whatever grown people want to do. Simple. If your
Period.
lifestyle allows you to go on week trips or weekend trips with your friend, have a nice time. Make sure you have your money. Might want to do a little shopping. Enjoy yourself. If your lifestyle don't allow for it, leave it alone. Y'all know what's going on in your life. Choose wisely.
You see, but the thing now is, when you're under the influence of your single friends, you might,
They're alcohol? What do you mean under the influence?
What, right?
Like what you mean?
I know which
What
influence.
are you talking
Which
about?
when the
influence.
girls hang,
about
when
that?
the girls get together on the girls' trip, you know what happens on the trip stays on the trip. So anything is possible, no?
But if you
Like-
respect your relationship, then I'm not understand.
Yeah, but
Oh, you're influenced by your friends.
no. Remember this talk about married women and
Oh.
and
I'm
you know their
curious.
single friends.
What do you think happened on girls'
Girls'
trips?
trip.
I don't know. I've never been on one.
You
so-
probably should.
You probably should.
go.
You'd probably be
Because
bored.
I've been on girls' trips and,
Yeah.
and there's usually a lot of face mask and spa dates and candlelighting and running on the beach and
But
them
what
kind of
happened after
things.
dark?
Nothing.
People are asleep.
People asleep. Like I said,
asleep
it's
with themselves?
anticlimactic. So you see, una look weird fantasies.
No,
I
you
don't
know
know,
what
you know?
that is called?
What is
Wait,
it
what's,
called?
what's the word where deflect? He's deflecting.
Deflecting.
See, my
Yeah.
brain went a little, but it
So
came
I
you're
feel
back.
like what
You're
men
deflecting.
are worried
But
because
when
of
they
what
go on
them
their
to them
trips-
trip. They think that we're doing the same
Yeah,
thing.
that's the conscience.
All right.
No, it's not quite that. And I know that the men in the comments can put in the comments and let the women know that it don't work like that for true.
Okay. Well, look, like I said, if your lifestyle cannot accommodate these things, leave it alone. If you can, enjoy yourself.
This is a period.
So
And
that's it. That's your take. That's,
what you think happens on a girl's
no,
trip,
I don't.
once
I
again,
don't have any thoughts. I'm just
very
asking
anticlimactic.
questions. I'm trying to find
No,
out.
apparently people are going to be under
And
the influence of
influence
the
of-
bad behaving friends like that. Him don't know how women stay.
He
Oh
really
gosh.
doesn't. Like you always have an auntie, you have a mother, you have a designated driver, you have the local wild one, you have
Yes.
it's a different, it's a
And
blend
there's
and they
usually
balance
somebody
each
on the
other
trip
out.
who thinks they're in charge
Yeah.
and who wants to coordinate
Tell
all
me
the
more.
activities
Yes, I'm
and the
listening.
outfits. And they call you up and say, okay, we're going to dinner at this time. And half hour before you're supposed to reach dinner, she start to call everybody to see where they are. And she said, okay, remember, you're supposed to wear this color. And if you're one shade off, she has something to say about it. You really can't do much.
And this is why women and the friendship thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would just
But for true.
start all chatter because she just start get
Yeah, she
overbearing.
had too
Because
much.
she had
She
try
like
to control.
our mother now. So,
Maybe I would miss
well,
this.
you've heard from the women that these girls' trips are probably not as eventful as
we
men
guys
may think.
As the men trip.
No,
It
as the
also
men
depends
think.
on the girls, yeah. Some
Right.
right. they gonna misbehave. Don't let you get
That we are
Not
talking
the
about
married
now.
ones, not the
That-
married ones,
Yes, you know.
the single ones.
We gotta
but
be honest.
Yes.
Yeah,
with the
you get me?
That more on ear.
They don't
Yes.
influence though.
But there's no in people
Me
do
not
what they
married, so
want
me
to
can't say
do.
nothing.
People do what they want to do. It's not an influence thing because for some reason in that question it's implying that the single people are going to lead the married people astray.
That's true, that's right.
Sometimes it's quite the opposite.
Right?
That's a spin on it I was not expecting.
Well, there
but
you go.
Well,
There you go.
Food for
See?
thought.
Because the married people glad to get away from the
Yes.
people them at them yard where talk I give them challenges. So hey, who knows? The bad behavior might come from that side.
ooh. And
Krista look like she agree with her one day.
I'm single and not ready to mingle, so I don't know nothing about them things here. I'm just by myself in a corner, watching everything happen.
Well, I've read about a lot of different types of people doing different things, so that's how I know.
Ooh.
I'm very well behaved these days.
These days.
These
So
days.
you want to go back in now and look at time in a one.
No, I don't have to go back. I can reminisce about, in the past. I had some fun times, but nowadays we are doing different things.
Love that.
Yes.
Love that. Well, let us know what you think. Share your thoughts with us in the comments. Do you think it's okay for a married woman to go on a girls or a weekend trip with her single friends?
Of course it is. I don't know why that's
Why
even a
is it a
question.
Like, come on. True.
I think it's a question. I think it's a fair question. I think there's some truth to find out from it. But we'll be back with more Just After Dark.
Can we go back in the hot pot? This is fun.
Prevent HIV. To learn more about PrEP, contact Jamaica AIDS Support for Life at 876-925-0021. Step up, PrEP up. In the mood? Then think about PrEP. One PrEP pill a day helps to prevent HIV. To learn more about PrEP, contact Jamaica AIDS Support for Life at 876-925-0021. Step up, PrEP up.
All right, thank you for staying with us. You're watching JASL After Dark, brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. And this is our Prep Up segment where we give you doses of PrEP information. With us, as usual, is Dr. Steve Andrews. Doctor? Doctor, who says doctor? Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah, who does that?
Well, I keep telling people when they ask me what's my name, I tell them Dr. Andrews. And they say, no, man, what's your first name, Doc? I said, my first name is Doctor, my last name is Andrews. And we move on from there.
Okay, Doc. So for somebody who's tuning in for the first time, what is PrEP?
PrEP is something you should take if you're having sex. End of story. Jokes. PrEP is a pill that you take once a day to help prevent against HIV. PrEP helps to prevent HIV from happening. So it helps persons who don't have HIV stay protected from getting HIV.
Right.
And of course, you can get PrEP. Where? At JASL.
So tonight, Doc, I want to talk a little bit about PrEP as a tool for autonomy.
Nice.
So my first question then is, how does taking PrEP give individuals more control over their sexual health and reduce their dependence on their partner's actions for HIV prevention?
Well, how it helps them to take control is that it puts them in the driver's seat. PrEP, like I said, is something used to prevent HIV. A lot of times, if we just leave things up to our partners, who are not always fully disclosing of what happens outside of the relationship, you tend to wonder, am I at risk of something? Am I at risk of HIV? And this is where PrEP comes in to give you that control. If you think you're at risk, you think your partner not telling you everything, you think you're getting burned, or you think that there may be something in the relationship where you need that added layer of protection, that's where PrEP comes in. Basically, you have that right now to take PrEP, and it gives you that control to help prevent HIV by taking it daily and forming that barrier or that added layer of protection against HIV.
So in what ways then can PrEP help people feel more confident and empowered in negotiating safer sex practices?
My biggest thing is improving your sex esteem. Coming into sex, a lot of times people think about their performance. People have anxiety coming into sex. Will the sex be good? Will it last long? Will the person have a good time? But on the other hand, you also have to think, am I at risk of a sexually transmitted infections? Most times people having sex have that at the back of their minds. And having PrEP on board helps to reduce that anxiety, increase that sex esteem. So when you head into that sexual encounter or that sex act, you know on the go that you're protected from HIV. So HIV is not on the forefront of your mind. Having good, enjoyable sex is on the forefront of your mind when you're on PrEP. And another thing too is that persons who are on PrEP, they know because they have encounters with us in the office that PrEP helps to prevent against HIV, but not against other sexually transmitted infections, such as herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea. So they know that, hey, not only do you step up and PrEP up, you can wrap it up before you tap it, and that helps to prevent against those other infections that can be costly. And you don't want to put your health at risk, because if you put your health at risk, then your wealth becomes at risk as well, because you spend the money right in my office treating the herpes, treating the syphilis, treating the gonorrhea, and you know we won't turn you away. But if we can prevent it by using a condom or taking PrEP, you know that that helps you in the long run.
Absolutely. My third question, Doc, for individuals who may have experienced challenges in previous sexual encounters, you know, how can PrEP provide peace of mind and autonomy in making health decisions?
Complete peace of mind is not something you can get with medication, because no matter what happened, there are circumstances you can't control.
Right.
PrEP puts you in a position, especially those persons who are victims of gender-based violence. Remember we talked about this last week, where persons don't know when they're going to have sex, especially if they're having sex with someone who forces them to have sex, or there's no timing for the sex, or if these persons basically have no control over it.
Right.
That encounter can have some amount of protection with PrEP, because even though they can't control when or the timing of sex, they can control if they can contract HIV. And I want people to kind of own in on that, because if you're in a situation where this is happening to you, PrEP is something that you should consider. PrEP not only gives you the opportunity to help prevent against HIV, but you get to speak to a healthcare provider. You get a whole array of other services that you can get access to, and we can help you probably to even come out of your situation.
Absolutely, Doc. So how does PrEP support individuals in making proactive health choices, particularly for those who may not always feel comfortable discussing HIV prevention with their partners?
I advocate 100% with talking about HIV, STIs. I think that's one of the biggest topics that you should have whenever you're dating someone or you're planning on sharing your body with somebody else. On PrEP, persons coming to the clinic get an opportunity not only to be on a medication that helps prevent HIV, but they get an opportunity as well to learn more about other infections, like I would have mentioned before, and they get checkups on every single visit. So more while these patients know more about their health than people who don't do annual checkups. So our PrEP patients know about their blood count, they know about their kidney function, they know about their liver function, they know about their hepatitis status, they know about their STI status at least once or twice a year. These people get smarter. And when you get smarter, it means you get equipped to make better decisions. So you don't go into sex as, you don't go into it wild. You have more thought process, and your screening process is much more in depth. You might find that people who are on PrEP, you might think, nah, they have more sex, they just behave wild, they just do whatever they want. But that's not the case. These people have calculated their risk, and they have weighed in the good versus the bad, and they're able to actually draw more people in. When you ask people, how did you find out about PrEP? Sadly, they don't say JASL After Dark on the top of their list. They say it's a partner that talks to them about it. And that is what this opportunity helps you to do, because that's the proactive measure. That's the proactive choice that we have with this.
Well, PrEP is definitely a proactive choice. And as Doc always reminds you, you can get PrEP right here at JASL at no cost to you. So thank you again, Dr. Andrews, for joining us for another PrEP Up conversation.
JASL After Dark. JASL After Dark. JASL After Dark. Oh, can't talk in the day, in the night part. JASL After Dark. JASL After Dark. JASL After Dark. Oh, can't talk in the day, in the night part. JASL After Dark. JASL After Dark. JASL After Dark. Oh, can't talk in the day, in the night part. JASL After Dark. JASL After Dark. JASL.
All right, so if you are just joining us, you are watching JASL After Dark, brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. Jamaica AIDS Support for Life provides free HIV and syphilis testing. And if you're at risk of contracting HIV, we provide PrEP for free. But if you are living with HIV, we also provide free HIV treatment, care, and support. So give us a call, 876-925-0021. Krista, what are we talking about tonight?
Well. Firstly, can we talk about the picture of me and you together? It's so cute.
Like
No
a
ideas,
nice,
guys.
happy couple.
No ideas.
Look like you're having a good marriage. In that picture, just
Stress-free,
happy.
right?
Like on a
Sexually
go, man.
confident.
Topics.
Or discussions.
I was
like that.
nervous when she
Right?
was to go home and
Go home and I was like,
Elevate people. Elevate your thinking.
You remember, we're here to talk about sex.
But everything.
sex,
No, but
sex,
hello.
confidence.
Great sexual experiences
Yes.
happen after stimulating discussions.
yes. For the sapiosexuals especially, like, yeah.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
With the talking.
Right, but we just jump in. We actually do the introduction because you heard it from her herself. She's an advocate and an activist. And we have Shelly and Weeks. You see, I forget my media advice to that one.
Yes, man, I'll take it.
Right? Shelly and Weeks, and we're here to talk about sex,
Yes.
confidence.
Yes. Yes. Those two words belong in sentences together. Listen, confidence is very important, and when you're sexually confident, you know what you want, and you know how to ask for what you want, and you know how to ask what the person who you're sharing this experience with wants so that you can have a good experience. Because a lot of times people feel a certain way, but then feel a little way in saying certain things and they don't really want to express themselves too much because they're afraid. But when you're sexually confident, you're not worried about that because you are concerned with not just your pleasure, but also with the pleasure of the other person. Yeah. So sexual confidence is what we should all aspire to be. We should do that, yes.
Oh, am I take notes now?
Yeah, man,
Please.
you should do that, man.
Book and pen.
Find your sexual confidence, man. Work it out. You should.
A question then. What does having autonomy over your sex life mean to you, and how can individuals begin to reclaim that control? And not have the confidence?
Autonomy, when I hear autonomy, I think it's not just an issue of control, it's also an issue of knowledge and understanding, right? Because you can say, well, this is my body, but you're not quite sure what you like, you're not sure what feels good to you because, you haven't really worked out the kinks, you haven't really explored. It's like you live in a house, but you never go in all of the room them and look and see what I go on,
They still have it in a factory setting.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know that you like to be bitten. You don't know that you like to be scratched a little. Or some people need to be shake up. Some people want them rackle for shackle. So you really need to know what's going on with your equipment, with your tools, and you also need to know what you can do, your skills, what kind of moves you have. Because you have certain moves, you have certain moves that make certain things happen a certain way that frighten some people when it happen to you. Them say, yo, you're obvious that's not possible. You understand? So it's not just about control, it's about knowledge and understanding. And to get to a sexually confident place, you have to learn yourself. And I'm talking about learn yourself from a physical standpoint. Touch yourself. Listen.
I was going to ask,
how do you learn how
Touch
to build
yourself,
confidence?
man. Listen.
Okay.
One of the things, and this is something that I've personally experienced, you need to stand in front of the mirror with the lights on and look at your body. Everything, scars, notice where the scars, there somehow we have some mole in a certain place, somehow we leg fat, somehow we part our body lighter than other parts. Really look at your body. And then do different things to your body. Pinch your skin and see what happens. Touch yourself and see what happens. Squeeze upon yourself and see what happens. And there are certain parts of your body that responds visibly to stimulus. So when you stimulate your nipples, for example, they become erect. Watch it happen. It's the most amazing thing. You go from down and you go to flick and it just go up. And some people, you touch it so and it don't move. But you go flick it and it moves. Say, oh, you like a little bit more rocker to your shackle. You understand?
Listen, if I take notes now, I'm writing that down.
No, but for real though, you need to really look at your body. And I say this, and it sounds like a simple thing, but there are a lot of people who are afraid to look at themselves naked. Yeah. Like, just literally afraid of doing it. Them bathe, and the only view them have is that view here when they look down. So, them don't know what it look like to the full frontal. And some of our body parts can't be seen when we're standing up. So now you need to get a mirror maybe you need to get some other things. Maybe you need to put up a foot. You know?
Put up a
You,
foot.
you need to look at, see what you're working. You know, and everything you can sit up, like when you stand up upright like this, you know, in a vertical way. You know, so you might need to prop up some things. Get a piece of tape and tape the mirror up on the wall and put up your foot.
Okay.
And look.
And see how far your foot
And
can
see
go.
what can go. And guess what happened to? It's not just your nipple alone respond to stimuli. You know, ladies, let me tell you. You see, when your vulva, the vulva is the external reproductive organ. It's not a vagina. The vagina is the internal organ, right? The external organ, the labia, when you become aroused, the vulva get fat. Do that and see. It's the most amazing thing. Listen. It just fat up.
Oh my goodness! Me just know that tonight just not gonna man.
Yes, and even the color, like because when the blood rushes to your clitoris and so it gets bright. It gets erect. Yes. You understand? So you really listen. You have the most amazing thing walking up and down in every day, and you don't even want to explore it. Your body is a wonderland. Is who sing that song there? Somebody sing that song there.
Somebody.
That is a bad song. That is a fact. Your body is a wonderland. Explore it. Go for a walk.
Now, my question though, how can you assertively communicate your preferences without feeling guilty or ashamed? Because you talk about the fact that not everybody really explore their body.
Yes.
Some people not even comfortable exploring other people's body.
Correct.
As well. So, in terms of the communication aspect of that, give us some tips. Can I take notes?
Well, the first thing is, don't have this conversation after you have decided to go ahead with you're doing the deed. You want to have this conversation in a non-sexual space. You talk about it while eating grapes. Let me say I eat grapes earlier. Eat grapes and talk about it. What I mean is, when you get to do it like that, you're not trying. There's no pressure. It's not so much instruction. You can have simple conversations like, so what you like? Or, you know, I was watching this show one time and I see this girl do this thing and this guy do this thing and that looked interesting. You know what I mean? So you don't try to have the conversation like tonight you say, all right, go bingo tonight. And tonight, no, you try to forget. In that moment, you try to forget. So what you like? So tell me what you want. Like you take an order, you know? So you have the conversation before. You sit down and talk about, you might see something, you might be reading a book and you see something in a book and go, this look interesting. Say, hey, look here, read this with me. And you know, if you're not a bookworm like me, because I refer to books a lot because I read. But maybe it's a movie, maybe, hey, one the movie there. Yes, I'm old. It's going to be an old reference. If you haven't watched it yet, Google it. You know, they're on Netflix. You can find it on one of the website, them or stream it or something.
1, 2, 3 movies.
Set it off. I have a very sexy love scene. Listen to me now, man. Set it off with Queen Latifah, the one when they rob the bank, man. The 4 women them rob the bank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yes. Blair Underwood go on with himself in another movie there. Listen to me now, man. Him do a thing where him get the massage aisle something and him have one chain on him neck and him take out the chain and just run it down Jada Pinkett Smith back. You see me where me I watch it, see me.
I feel like a
Let me tell you now, man. So things like that. So if you see something interesting in a movie, you say, hey.
That nice.
You know what I mean? And then what you do is pay attention. So you don't have to say the words, I like it when you, and everybody's so direct.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be like that. But if you communicate like that, that works too.
Yeah,
that works too. I like it when you, or I prefer that, or try this, or you know what I mean? But the conversation is important. You have to talk to each other before you start touching anything because it's just information. And like with anything new, especially if it's the first time, getting sexual with each other, it's important to share information.
Absolutely. But the thing is, a lot of these things and as conversations, sex and a whole, we have them kind of taboo in terms of talking about our interests to some extent, So how do people not feel, ashamed or like them need to walk on eggshells to enter these conversations?
Practice, because you're going to have to start with feeling ashamed. You're going to do it anyway. While feeling ashamed, you do it often enough, the shame will eventually go away. Because if you survive doing it with the shame the first time, you're going to realize, but hey,
it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. And you do it again, and then no, the shame isn't there anymore. But we can't expect to be completely comfortable in every situation. So you're never gonna be completely comfortable. You're still gonna have that little doubt in your mind. You're still not going to be sure. Do it anyway. Because when you do it, you get to learn based on how the person responds. You might do it and it's the best thing that ever happened. You know how many people in a relationship right now with a partner that them don't know that the partner into the very thing that they want to do and they refuse to ask about it because they're busy feeling bad about it? They would have never, no sir, I would have never asked my girlfriend to do this.
Well,
No sir, my boyfriend not into that. And if you were to ever really talk to them, you realize that the two are full of nasty.
Yeah. Really, a couple of times today, you know?
I hope y'all saw that.
There's nothing to see.
I hope y'all saw
Nothing to
that.
see at
That's
all.
okay. They can go back a few seconds. You can see it if you miss it. You'll catch it. You'll catch it. You see what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I don't, autonomy and feeling, control and knowledge and all of that. How does or why is it important to feel confident in negotiating condom use, and how can you approach this conversation with your partner?
Well, that comes back to the whole discussion. Before you even do anything, state your claim. Listen, you are your body security force,
True.
If you're not in the business of protecting your own body, I can't help you.
Yep.
So if you can say, what are the rules? Establish your thing and say, listen, I like you. Think you like me too.
I do.
But then,
Wait a minute.
I don't want your wife to can't fight. But what I say is, you need to be your security force. So you need to just put your cards on the table. Say, look here, I really like you and thing, but these are my barriers. These are my boundaries, barriers, rules, non-negotiables, whatever you want to call them. And they get to state theirs. And then you see, you might hear something where you might want to question it. But you have to act like security. Your body is yours to secure. And if you don't protect
Jamaican
it,
security behave?
no, you have to act like security. Listen.
Partner, man, them run things,
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
And you might feel a little uncomfortable, that's fine. But if you are not protecting you,
nobody's gonna do it. It's your job. You can't pass that on to somebody else.
there you go. And you have to take it that seriously. It can't be a case where you're not going to say anything because you're afraid and no, you're in a position where you have to face this consequence that you could have avoided by just stating what you did not want to do at the time. Right? So if you're in a position to do so, make sure you state your claim. You have to be clear on that.
So, now, let's put ourselves in the situation, right? And your partner refuses to use a condom. How do you confidently say no?
We take off the clothes already and he refuses to use the condom?
Yeah.
I don't think we should have reached so far though before. I don't know if I used condom before we start take off clothes. But alright, we jump the gun.
We jump the gun.
And
everybody
ready
and waiting.
Things swell up and things. Ready up.
Things wet up.
Wet up and
all kind of textures. The rackle ready for shackle. Well, listen, you have to be clear. Let me say, security guard pose. Truthfully, sometimes the woman's safety, physical safety may be at risk here because most of the time, man, them bigger than we.
yeah.
And if you're too strong, I find that men are very vulnerable when they're naked.
Oh my
So you have
goodness.
to be careful what you say, cause them head with my chip or something. So it's not an easy thing to navigate, and that is why I wouldn't recommend that we get there first.
Right.
You
You
have it
have
before.
to be before anybody start take off anything. Clear, say listen. Because even before you start take off clothes, you establish if there is even a condom to use.
Right.
You can't after everything ready up now. You try find the condom and oops, you don't have it.
And then you're gonna start search.
Yeah, man, you know the bad pocket. You see when you see that tree slap there?
Right?
Yeah.
So you really have
Jaja.
to, and that's why I really want us to adopt a pose where before we get here, we establish certain guidelines off the bat. And don't wait on one partner to be responsible for the thing. And if that is what you agreed to beforehand, then do what you said you were going to do. But really don't put yourself in a position where you're at that point and now you're trying to navigate yourself out of it, because you can get out of it, but there's a higher level of risk.
Yeah.
Right? And you want to avoid that. So my thing is, talk about it before you even get naked. Set your boundaries and make sure you're prepared. So if it is that you're going to be using a condom, maybe you want to use one of the female condoms, whatever tools you're going to bring, maybe you decide, all right, you take your prep, then prep, you did your test before, all right, you don't want to go forward, but you don't want to get pregnant, you do the birth control route. But you cannot go into these things blind anymore. Like, there are too many things right now in 2024 that you can do to protect yourself and your partner for you to be going in blind at this point.
So do you suggest going to like a doctor's appointment?
You can, but you don't have to go that route. I mean, Jamaica AIDS Support for Life is right here. I mean,
people,
you
you have couples that come here for testing
you come and do your testing.
Yeah.
And when you come and do your testing, you can talk to a tech and they will help you with certain things if you have questions or stuff like that. I'm sure, I've done work with you guys before. I know the resources that you have. Yeah. So if you want to go to a doctor, do that too. That's another thing that you can do. But you cannot go into this thing where you never know this and she never know that. And after everything ready up now, not try to figure these things out. It just don't make sense.
There's one other thing that's important that persons need to understand, that condoms are not for men. Condoms are for sex.
There you
so
go.
It's not the man's responsibility alone.
Repeat that for them, please.
All right. So condoms are not for men. Condoms are for sex.
Yes.
So it's not just the man's responsibility to bring condom. You're having the sex too. You can bring the
And
condom.
also, your body's reaction. Like some people, majority of us women, from my observation, we're allergic to latex.
Not majority.
Well,
but
a good amount of
with-
persons are allergic to latex,
latex.
etc., etc., etc. So you also know what works for
Which brand
you,
work with you,
which
and-
brand work with
yeah.
you, which one of them you know. If the ribbed condom is this
Yeah,
smooth,
you like
whatever
studs, you
it is,
don't
you
like
like
studs.
What is it? So you have a say in it. You can control.
Come prepared.
Space, come prepared.
Ready for yourself.
Now, having that conversation, as we know, a lot of the times is not as easy, and I think we've said that so many times. So, figuring out how to navigate your way when it comes down to like your sexual health, the conversations about sexual health and sexual practices. Now, is that still way before we get to the?
Yeah, man. I don't think you should have. All right. So listen. Whether you like it or not, you have to go talk about some things.
Yeah.
Before you even get naked. We already established that, right?
Yep.
But you don't have to talk about everything.
Okay.
Before you do the thing. So because it's not like say I gotta do everything one time, please. Some of them last 2-3 minutes anyway.
Oh
So,
my goodness, you know what I'm going on part there, but I'll wait a little bit. Sure.
You're not gonna do everything in the one
Yeah.
time, right? But what you can do is you can just have. Are you having sexy people you can't talk to? That don't make no sense.
That don't make no sense, right?
You have to talk about things.
Now
You
mentioned something we want to touch man, because I've
Touch
been
pan it,
hearing
yeah,
about.
friend. Touch pan
You
it.
see that lasting 2-minute bit, right? When it comes on to men, I'm not sure if it's an erectile dysfunction thing that's happening or it's a mental thing. For those women, because I've been hearing women complain of late about men who cannot go beyond 3 minutes. Now, what conversations do we need to have with the men regarding
Well,
that?
the truth is, some women don't have a problem with a 3-minute man. The problem that them have is that a 3-minute man talk a big game. And him over here, so I promise, all kind of something.
I gonna
I know
mash
say,
you
all him
up.
have is 3 minutes. You know, say if him come with a good quality 3 minutes, if in that 3 minutes he make some things go on,
Right.
go him rockle your shackle in the 3 minutes.
Frankly, and
You know, then you take your 3 minutes and go and lie down and rest yourself. We are big people, not for we are working
We have
people.
things
We
to
have
do.
things to do. You know,
Okay.
we have whole night. I don't know.
And you probably call all
All
that
that-
borrow. All that too.
You know, all of these
You
people.
see, you and that
people-
borrowing together.
Yeah, advocate for the people that want
I
borrow.
real
I want them
lending
to feel left
company.
out.
The topic tonight is sexual confidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're not going to borrowing, because borrowing
Right.
is going to take us down a different
A
avenue.
different avenue.
Right?
Right.
But for real though, I mean, part of the issue is the expectation, right?
The
I say it all the
mental thing.
time, and I tell my male friends, I say, listen, do not tell women things that you know she can prove when she sees you naked or when she sees what you can do. Don't set yourself up for failure. If all you have is a good quality 3 minutes, make sure it's your best 3 minutes. Do
Or 3
sit-ups, do
inches.
push-ups, work it out, whatever you have to work with. Make it 3 minutes so scrumptious that after the 3 minutes done, she say, you know,
Feel like
3
30.
more.
Yeah.
You understand? And she called it for 3 more, the 3 minutes. 2-3 minutes together, 6 minutes. That, you know.
What?
So make sure you improve the quality of the time. And not so much focus on the length of the time. Because if you get good quality, because the flip side of that is, you know, some of them are go for 15 minutes and you just, you like,
14, you're like, cha-cha, when you got done. All right, move back. I wonder.
it's like,
We need for the laundry, though.
like,
man.
either they are plan your day.
Yeah, I say, yeah, man.
And and you over there, smell a sweat.
I
on you.
sweat. Oh! It's always the part where I say, when I say,
And it just
what
really
the fuck?
your face.
Like, when you got done, I have bills to pay.
We prefer a good quality 3 minutes. That's all I say.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, a good quality 3 minutes better than the 15 minutes someday. My sweat on you and you're not going away and just a shake.
Yeah, right? Shake up. I feel like we need that
Over here,
balance.
so not even get shackled.
I feel like we need that balance. I feel like a good 7 minutes,
No, well,
So
that's
10.
well, look here.
10 minutes.
It's not so much about the time.
It's the quality.
It is really about the connection and the stimulation. And like I said, you see, when you know yourself, you can know, say, tell him
Direct
to
him,
bite
figure
you,
out
if
this
he
so.
bite you, tell him to pinch you, if he pinch you. And then, men, which camera am I camera? Look at that.
Looking at any one of
Men,
them.
sir, you see when you're doing something and she says yes, she likes that.
Don't stop! Hey, listen, me run up and down in this, you know. Don't stop.
All of a sudden, them feel like you're
All of
trying,
a sudden, like, come on. Keep the same thing. Anyways, I just raise my voice a little bit.
Wow.
I touch a
I feel like we
nerve.
don't attack the man then.
I touch a nerve. Why would
was
you
giving
stop?
Advice. What do you mean?
We're
Advice?
helping you.
That was advice.
Yeah.
If she says she like what you're doing, that means
Continue.
good feedback.
Keep it up.
Proceed. Where you stop for?
Just.
Because I'm like a boss.
And that is why we have the continuous problems. Ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Shelly. Like them thing here.
And the truth. You know, not all the man them secret.
When
You
you
know,
hear
some
them
of the time
something.
then we switch it up because we reach close and we say, yeah man, we can't make it down here. So you switch it up. You change the speed, you change position, you do all sorts of something.
And meanwhile,
Right,
and you do all them
and
something there,
me.
and she a plan her grocery list.
Because at the end of the day, sir, we
It's a sense
are
of
trying
strong-
to reach
The issues that
our
we need.
destination. Right?
And you know what happened? You know, one of the things I don't realize. And that's why I said
You know,
communication
hello,
is so
woman tell me
important,
time, you know, she
Hey,
tell me
you see
say
when
it's a
we done
race.
with this?
If she come first, me lose, so that my problem I have to sort out myself.
I apologize for your past experiences.
Oh, this
Well, all I'm
is
saying
trauma. That's what it is. Come hold my
So like
hand.
trauma.
Just hold my hand.
Hold on. Come. Yeah, make sure help
It's
you.
okay.
Let us have a moment.
Kumbaya.
Because all I'm saying is, right? We are different.
Yeah.
Some women like different things. And all I'm saying is, the conversation around even orgasm, men think say it takes women long to reach orgasm. So for some women it doesn't.
does,
But
yeah.
really what is happening is that she keeps on getting
Disconnect.
close.
Close
And then you just
some happen to disrupt it, so she has to start
all
over.
over again.
But when, because you do the same thing, you know, you get close and then you switch it up, so you have to start over. But when you start over, you probably start, all right, so we're not climbing mountain.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
climbing mountain. So you reach us up and say, all right, oops, me not want to reach so far yet, and you come down little and you go. When she reach us up, and you go, so, oops, I don't get for sure.
Don't get so all the way we
All
start
over,
all over from
all over.
scratch. From scratch.
You understand? But here's the beautiful thing. She can get there, go back down, and come up
Come
again.
back. Exactly. Unlike
And
oh
come
no.
again.
And like with Uno get there and it done. Show over.
She can do it
But
multiple
we can.
times.
What you know about me? Oh.
You know, tonight is the night when I save the show and send it to multiple people. Continue. Not in a threatening way, Calvin. Can I say start worrying now?
No, me, I wonder. No!
I don't know
I
nothing
have
about
no
you.
reason to feel threatened.
I
I'm just wondering.
I don't know nothing about you.
I hope, if you haven't seen it, feel free to go out a few seconds. I hope you all saw that.
Wanna see?
Nothing to see here.
Wanna see? I feel like everybody else is something we can say. What are they?
Well, you know,
What is
you
it?
can go back and watch it too.
But the point is, I'm learning quite a few things, and I hope men will understand how our bodies
Yeah.
work.
That's
Okay.
really important. It's really important for men to understand how women's body work and for women to understand how men's body work.
yes.
But the truth is, the complexity lies behind the women. Man, it don't really take nothing for
And you know, that's the thing I disagree.
you
I
do.
disagree.
Because one, the thing is, women, we normally tell you guys. From my experience, I will say I
From your
like
experience. You have some woman who
they because they
silent
know
night.
themselves. That's
Not
true.
telling
That's
you.
true.
That is true. That
That's
is
true.
No,
But
that's
I'll say
not
to you,
what
this
I
is
was
what I.
talking about.
the complexity
A
behind
lot of people, well, you say men are easier than women. And on a certain level it is because there are certain things that we have agreed that men like. So we think that male erogenous zone is nipple, crotch.
Nipple.
Boom. Not even men know, say, them have erogenous zones elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm going to toot my own on, so let me lean back.
Yeah. Talk to
Comfortable.
them right
You
there.
understand? But in my past life, back in my drinking years, I don't drink anymore, but you know, when I used to drink.
Okay.
Right? I was having a nice physical experience with a gentleman one time. And I just went, so I'm scratching from him, go right just up, so. Right up all the way on him armpits, so. And he
Just
arrived.
yes.
I'm seriously over him.
Yes. So when you tell men about things like that, them tell you a liar.
No, because
Because-
he thinks that the only way he can be sexually stimulated is through his penis.
Yes.
And I'm telling you that that's not the case. Just similarly, to
Right.
how we can be stimulated, your skin is a wonderful, exciting place with lots of exciting things to stimulate. But we just confine ourselves to this little area here, so.
so much more to be explored.
So much more to explore.
Years old.
And that's a part of the communication. The communication is not just verbal, you know. You can do a thing where you just say, all right, we're just going to go physical touch.
That's it.
And you just have a touch session.
A blindfold and
Yes.
make sure you utilize your senses.
You see that?
You're
So-
going to the seminar.
That's why it's good.
Somebody
to
called me a
also,
witch once.
Play.
Or twice.
Well, I'm trying to say. I was saying, you know, that's why it's so good to play games as well. You know,
Yes.
have a little dice. So tell
Correct.
yourself,
Of course, we roll
kiss
past up.
here, or
Touch
lick
there.
there,
Touch
touch
there,
there.
yes.
Somewhere that you might not have done if you never did explore. And you realize,
Not
oh,
those days.
just have a buzz.
And that's a great way to explore as well. Is to build up your confidence through playing games. So now the pressure is not on
And
you
saying
so
this
much.
is what you want,
Exactly.
but at the game pick it.
And
So
you,
that's why we are
you
doing
pay
it, yeah.
attention and you learn the person's same way.
Relax. Hey. Ooh. Calvin, ask a question. My
And
brain
you
went
talk
back.
about learning the person. You know, when you encounter different persons, you learn that different persons like different things.
Right.
How do you not have your past experiences to perhaps cause you to think that, you know, a particular way is the best way and that is it?
Well, once you understand that people are different, then you'll get that everybody won't like the same thing. But you'll find some similarities there. Because there are some things that most people like, some people enjoy. I've met a man who don't like fellatio yet. I've never met a man who say, listen, no, not into that.
Not into
I
that,
don't like, no. Put your lips on me. No. And I don't like that. But anyway,
That man is not right.
never met him. I don't know him. If he exists, I would like to talk to him. I would like to know what's the
I
problem.
was going to say
what-
something, but when I go
what
back.
he doesn't like about that, but I've never met him. So there are some similarities, but once you understand that people are different, I think that will help you to recognize that You have to learn the person.
And get to know them
And get to know
individually.
them. Correct.
And shed some of the things. I feel like a lot of the times, like you with your past trauma, in our previous discussion, you bring that into a space and it creates unnecessary expectation, unrealistic expectation sometimes. You get what I mean? I said, I met a young man the other day that said he didn't like to finger women.
Yeah.
And I found that so weird.
I don't like to be fingered.
And then you're women who don't like
I just
to
think
be
about your
fingered.
dirty hands. The outer road,
So
I
it's
do all kind of things.
Getting
when
to
you
know
come
the
with dirty
person.
hands.
Not true.
I change your character.
I choose your character and then
And
come
I
back.
grease the chicken and nah.
So the thought of those things.
No.
Well, there are some women who understand that penis is not necessary for them, so they'd rather be fingered. So get to know your person.
There are lots of other fun things that replace the penis.
Right?
You know,
We need a list. For the ladies watching, you can tell them.
Yeah. You know, lots of fun things. And even if you want to use another body part, nose is great too.
Nose?
I love it.
Wow. All right. Nose.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
That is so clever.
Nobody knows.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So, other body parts
Other body
to
parts. Yes.
use as. Okay. All right. But the
That one threw you for a loop, didn't it?
Yeah.
instead of sure.
Other body parts. Yes, man. Not just the finger alone.
So get creative is what you're saying.
Explore. Do different things.
All
Yeah,
right.
well, like say, unlimited. Not limited, you know. I don't know who wrote the rules that we can only go from lips to nipples to belly button to crotch. Who decided that?
But we know Jamaican, right? The society that we live in, a lot of the times I feel like men live to please other men. In the business, who want to be but I
That's
feel
not a
like
Jamaican
men.
thing. That's a worldwide
A worldwide thing. But you see, Jamaican men, like a lot of the times, for example, like, you ask them about oral sex, is no, I'm born at out. I'm like, why you born at out? Because the one them say it wrong. And I'm like, are you trying to please the men? I mean,
Where did you ask them? Because, you know.
That's the next
oh no,
thing
I
too.
ask in a private,
First
not
of all,
in front of them
Well,
friend. Come and know that.
I can't speak for every Jamaican man, but me know say them lie.
Bad.
Them lie to the point where
They lie to themselves.
them don't even remember what them did say or them lie. And so a lot of men will say outer road about no, bun this, bun that is their favorite thing. You can't do anything. You try to sit in a chair, their face is already there. So I mean, I don't know. Like, come on.
Like the $1 million question that nobody has ever been able to answer. If Jamaican men don't eat front and all the women have the experience, who is doing it? Who is doing it?
Well, they said that there's a very, very busy 5%. But like I said, them just lie. I've heard, like, I remember a very good friend of mine told me about this. She was dating this bad man, and it's like,
And then I wasn't up. It talks
the
there.
man,
Yo,
the man
man.
take out his weapon and say, yo, if you ever tell anybody about this, why the man do it now? It's like, what? What is
But just an envision.
Come on. So, and you know what I realized? The loudest one, oh Lord, man. Them do it all. Them do it all upside down
And they're
underwater.
usually the best ones.
Queen.
They're the best ones.
Them do it with style. Them turn to the side.
Yeah, man.
Them
Everything.
them know how to make them tongue make sound. Them have all.
And they more vibrate.
For vibrate and everything. They're usually the best ones. The one that are born it out the loudest.
Them just lie.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, you know, where this conversation happen is definitely a big part of it, because in public and around other men, a lot
Yes.
of men, you know, them swear, no sir, want this out and want that out. And, but how do we get persons to move from that place where they...
Oh, younger men not having the problems that their fathers had. Younger men tell you straight up. Them walk like them. They look like them put it on them resume. Them put the years of experience. Everything.
Skill set.
Is a skill set. So their fathers and them is very like younger men, many in them 20s. They do not have the issues that their fathers and their uncles have at all.
Yeah, them brazen still.
Yeah,
for
them
true.
straight.
The
Matter of fact,
22-year-old especially.
They must say some additional items on the menu.
Right.
They're offering those things too. So
Facts.
I don't in maybe another 20 or so years.
Yeah, that's
Well, Calvin.
Feel attacked, yo.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Younger men do not have this issue.
Oh
And
my
also,
goodness.
here's the other demographic that do not have this issue. The old man them when them teeth are drop out. Them not have the problem now because them offer your gums.
Wow. Boy, you're right.
I didn't
I'm sorry,
get
what are we
silence
talking about
after
again?
enough.
We're here
The
at
silence.
gums
kills
Right?
me. No, I can't picture somebody a gum it. Me no want my brain go
now.
so.
Yeah, man, them take out them dentures and ready to get busy, man. Them say they are the
Oh,
best
wow.
thing. I can't speak of it personally, but hey, that's the recommendation. When them say is the best thing, you know, them take out them dentures.
I think the women,
Yeah.
but all right, the man them.
Listen,
Dentures aside.
people,
Hey. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist that one. I'm sorry. Dentures aside. Yeah. So, all right. So we know our culture. I think there really needs to be a conversation with, because they have the ones in the middle, like my age group now, where I think they're trying to find themselves, where it's the denial. And I feel like one of my non-negotiables, if you don't face it, you can't waste it. You understand what I'm saying?
okay.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the times it's having to try to convince them that it's okay now we're in 2024 because they're in the middle ground where the young one them.
Convince them, leave them. They'll
Yes,
find
if
their way
you-
there.
They'll find their way?
If
Would
this
you
is
be
a
patient?
If this is a non-negotiable for you, that's not your guy.
Okay.
Listen, there's a lot of willing candidates. I just need to work with the willing people.
Just work with the willing
I
people
don't
just
think
so?
you need to be negotiating and
Coercing.
coercing
and
and
try.
debating and listen. There's
Too
so
old for
many
that.
willing people. Work with the willing people. Then.
Okay.
The ones that are undecided, they'll figure it out eventually. Leave them, let them work it out amongst themselves.
I have a question. It's about whole phases.
Ooh.
Do you
Whole phases.
believe in whole phases?
That's a religion. What's that?
Or is it a natural thing for humans to be curious?
What is a whole phase?
The phase that I keep hearing the nowadays generation talk about
Period
where
in your
period in your life where you're
Oh, you know,
just
so you have to help me.
you're just
help me.
going
You know the
through
news slang.
several persons. You're exploring.
Is there
exploratory.
a minimum order quantity?
I'm
Like how
not
do
even
you
thinking about how
get
you
to
determine.
how do you get to wholement? What is it? Wholeness?
Right?
How
Is
do you
there
get-
a number? That's what I'm thinking. But I hear a lot of these
If you never,
persons talking about
I don't know if
whole
there's a number,
phases.
but if you would have,
Left from one somebody to the next. Is
yeah,
it?
like
When
in
we
a
leave from one somebody to the next.
like not never stable, like you just as them would have said, cut and go
cut and go
through.
through
Yeah.
one and move. Is
No,
that a natural
no,
phase?
no.
Do you
I'm
think
not
that's
trying to
natural?
be dense, but I'm just trying to understand what this phase is about. So,
A
we
period
are
of
picturing-
They
high
call it
sexual
promiscuity in
yeah.
a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's the number? There must be a
Is
number.
there has to be a number?
It's
Alright,
two
so what's the
peop-
number for
three
you?
people, you reach home
No, they're not
10?
you have beginner hole, middle, intermediate hole, expert hole. I'm
Shovel.
trying to understand.
Shovel, Ray.
What are we talking about? 0 to 5 is
0 to
beginner.
10.
I feel
5
like, I
to
feel like
20
if
is
maybe
intermediate.
if you pass maybe like 4 people, 3 to 4 in a 1 year.
3 to 4 in 1 year.
I don't know. May I try be a
365 days. We said that's not a whole phase.
I'm just
Yeah,
I
wouldn't.
don't know. May I
I'm
try be a
intellectually used to
conservative
this term
number.
for the first time.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to
For the
understand.
first time.
Yes, I've never heard about it, honestly.
Whole phase?
wow.
Oh, yeah,
The whole
man.
phase. I've never
Come
heard
on, it's
about
a
it.
thing,
But
man.
generally speaking,
I like your glasses. Sorry.
thank you, I love yours too. But generally speaking, I find that the term "hoe" varies depending on who's talking about it.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Because when I hear men ask women about their body count, If she say anything more than 2, she's a hoe.
Yeah. That's why women always lie.
Yeah, but everybody lie. Man lie too.
Right?
But
We just appear the
women
woman say
say.
woman lie.
no, everybody lie. Wanna just lie more.
The amount of women we
But
know
what
in
may
the
I say
past
is-
5.
Yeah, but women don't tell you about their sexual experiences. They tell you about their relationships. Women count relationships. Women don't count how much people them have sex. They don't count the time when they go to the club, the time and they meet the guy and they run a car and they do the thing.
Oh.
That don't count when you count how much people have sex. That never count. That, you're the drunk. You never, you know me better.
Technically.
Right. So,
You're virgin.
there you go. So all you count, most women count
you,
their
Shelley.
relationships. So they say, okay, all right, well, there was Brian, there was Chad, there was Keith, there was Kenneth, and okay, 5. But they never tell you about the guy who named them don't remember because them did up on vacation, the time with them friend.
The girls trip, the same girls trip.
You know you know what feet up. Miss Caesar coming up.
Yeah. So that don't count. Matter of fact, that was in another country, so boom. That don't count.
And if it not last for 3 minutes, then it no count
What
either,
do you
right?
mean? You're not count time. What's
Oh,
up
no
with you this
count.
time
Oh, okay.
thing?
No, I'm
What
just
does
I
that
say.
She called the relationships. So she called the people them whose name she can remember with the relationships. Even man, first of all, if they were to actually count the amount of people they have sex with in one night, seriously. So we're not
Right.
even going to talk about.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying. I'm really
Watch ya.
honestly trying to define women.
You see? You see it though? You see it? You see it?
I really am trying to define who.
Oh.
What are we talking about when we say who? Because if
Men
you're saying,
versus women too.
the truth is, if you say 3 people per year, that is unrealistic.
That little.
That's crazy.
That little. I guess
So what's average?
I guess the best definition is for a whole phase, a period of high sexual activity with little commitment or little to no
What do you
commitment.
mean commitment? What do you
Meaning,
mean?
you have sex with people who you're never really in a relationship with. And
Situation,
it's
but
several
that sound
people.
like
What is
life.
high? Several. That's a
Can't
number.
give a
Give me
number.
a number. I need a number.
Can't give a
Because
number.
Jamaicans count 1, 2,
Average
couple, few.
in a year.
Some, enough, several. Them from them
In a
number.
year.
I need a number.
10 somebody in a
You
month.
say 50 or more, 20 or more.
20 or more
I'm
in a
trying
year.
20 or more in a year. That's a whole.
That's a whole. Okay, 10 or more.
No, me ask you.
No, yeah, ma'am, you know, you said that's a whole.
May try to
Okay.
define the term. The reason why I'm trying to define the term is, think about it. If you are a 20-year-old now, young executive, maybe you're a college student or you have a part-time job, or maybe you have a full-time job. When I was in my 20s, I was working. When I would leave work, we go and them days like Christopher's a keep, you can go to Christopher's and you meet enough man and then buy your drinks and sorry, old people.
Okay,
now,
sorry,
old,
but
just relax. Asylum, no
It's
go
fine.
asylum.
Asylum. I know about asylum.
Never been, but I know about
Never
it.
been, but I know about it. I always hear about it.
Yeah,
Just give me a moment, let me feel old for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Alright, so what I'm saying is, if you are going out and you know you're young and you're clubbing and you're drinking, you have to talk about the drinking in the cars. Your inhibitions fall when alcohol gets involved and you're having a nice time and you feel good and you're pretty and you're sexy and you're out of road and you're not really in a relationship and you might meet somebody and you have a nice time and you go out, you go take a couple drinks and it's actually somebody you like and on a hookup and it never work out. Then
Next.
2 months later, you meet somebody else. And so it's not like you're over here just trying to have sex with a bunch of people, but that can add up real quick. So before you know it, by the end of the year, it's been 7 people. That's a whole.
I don't think so.
No, that is why I'm
Also
trying to
circumstantial.
define
Yeah.
what you're talking about because the situation where you're saying you have one person which is going to have sex with 10 million people, that's somebody, that's a rare thing. I don't know anybody who, I'm just talking about me personally, but I don't know of a situation where you just have an individual who just say, all right, I'm going to just dash out this week. This week is dash out Thursday, and then it's a dash out. And that's what I'm saying. So if you're going through your life and you're meeting different people and you're going on a couple dates and the dates don't work out, sometimes people meet each other and the chemistry just sharp and them like and them for them sexy and them body rile up and feme hormones up and fear hormones up and them have a nice time together. They really genuinely liked each other. And then go out a couple times and it just never work out. Or the person was just here for a couple of days because they were here on vacation and no say never keep in touch. And no, never keep in touch. You never see the person again. And then 2 months later you meet somebody else. So when you add it up for the year, make us say it end up being 12 people. Oh?
No.
Not in that
No.
context.
No, but that is that's the context that most people date. That's
Yeah,
the context that most people do it. They actually
Sure,
like
no.
We're
people.
not talking about whole phase. We're not talking about, you're trying to date. And
No, but that is how it usually happens. People not, you're going like say people just buck up and drop on them body parts. They actually they do things together.
Yeah,
Them
people want that.
them have a little drinks, little conversation.
Wait, so that's
little
not you.
something.
Just get into
Understand
it,
that?
Calvin.
Uno
You
just
just get into it, Calvin.
Hi, my name is.
And that is
your
it.
name is we hold.
No, that's all I know about your name. I know.
Okay.
Different
I mean, I've heard.
generation.
Not me. Not personally.
I think there are like 3 different generations right here, right now. And
Yeah,
it's evident.
I'm just
From
trying
the
to
younger
understand what
group.
we're talking about.
Poor
Because
face.
I've heard so many different conversations around this whole thing. And the truth is, to a man who's interested in a woman, him don't want to know that she was with anybody
else.
except him.
That's
which
true.
I think is unrealistic. Because first of all, who
everything's
wants to
enough.
have sex with a virgin anyway? You? I'm just saying, generally
To
speaking,
have sex with a virgin.
why? Them don't know where things go, them don't know what them do, them not confident, them boring. It's like,
Waste of time, honestly.
it's like you're asking me to drive with a driver, we just get them driver's license. Them don't know
And we are
road.
far to go. Like,
And we are far, them know road, come on. But that's what I'm saying. So if we're talking about sexual confidence, you build sexual confidence through experience.
That's true.
You build sexual confidence through understanding what works and what doesn't work. And you cannot read about it. There are some things that you just understand
Have to do it.
when you
Learn.
do it.
You gotta do
Yeah.
You get a better understanding of it. So when you do
Kinesthetic.
so what you find is the people who are sexually experienced were probably hoes.
Ooh.
Based on on definition, which still away time.
Oh. I mean, the young people, them still not film generation. It's definitely on his generation. Yeah.
What's going on in film generation?
He's from the younger
Yeah,
generation,
but I know, in
man.
terms of what?
They use the term a lot.
The whole
Whole
phase.
phase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever happens to your whole phase, it don't really define you because it was
You
just.
still don't tell me what a
But
whole
let me
phase
tell you-
what a whole phase is.
We have to go.
So, me also discover men who are inexperienced are intimidated by women who are
Oh, of course.
experienced
But that makes sense.
at the time.
That makes
And
sense.
it's like,
yeah,
Because men think that they should be the one
dominant.
who has the sexual control.
Yeah.
But a confident, a sexually confident woman is not going to automatically make you have control because she want to feel good too and she realizes you don't know
You
where
know
I
what
do.
I
So
do,
she
so
say,
You're not
hold
wasting
on.
time. Do this.
I've had to do it.
Right?
I did it one time. I said, "Hey, look here, just stop.
just stop here, though.
Just lie down.
Don't do
Down.
nothing.
That's the
That is it. Come twin.
Oh.
Twin.
Oh, yes. You see what they say
Twin.
like that, no? But the way they
Oh, for
have a
you.
buzz, but if you don't tell me stop and whatever, it would have done.
Say, eh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
No.
stop.
Just stop.
Stop. Just,
Yeah.
I just want
Just
you to lie
lie down.
down. I know you sit up.
Don't
I know you do nothing. Just
Yeah.
don't move.
They don't move,
That
yeah.
is it.
Strangle me and tie me. But tell you what, we're actually out of time. You know, the conversation.
Right, we've been
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, the conversation
This
is
was
so
too much fun.
Too much fun,
so
man.
exciting.
We
that,
don't want this done.
We don't want it done, right?
She likes it the last long.
Yes, I do.
And it's been more than
At
3
least
minutes.
more than an hour.
Been a god is a really good thing.
Yeah,
It's
man.
yeah.
Me take the hour and get a couple 3 minutes in between. See where I can. Stop it. Your brain. I read your mind while
You
ago.
read my mind.
Yes, I did.
So when you say you read my mind, now, what do you think that?
Where has it been?
Anyway, Shellyan
Go on.
Weeks, thank you for joining us tonight on JASL After Dark. You know, you definitely bring
Flavor and the vibe. Yes,
to
you do.
The show. Thank you.
I had so much fun.
Very educational. Like me say, may I take this and may I send it to somebody's son.
Ooh.
Several people's son. Me just know they need it. They just need it in them life.
Yeah, they need that sex confidence.
Yeah. Education.
Education.
Education. They need to be educated. Where say the shackle? Where is it?
Rockly
Rockly
shackle.
a shackle.
Luckily, a shackle.
So that they can rockle somebody's shackle.
Hey. Take
Well,
care of
some-
the shackle and every shackle can rockle.
All right.
That is it.
So that is it for JASL After Dark this week. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you learned something tonight. You know, something you can put into your personal life. You know, that sex confidence, or as Doc called it, you know, that sex esteem. So next week we have a special edition for you, and you'll hear more about that. So stay tuned to JASL's social media pages. Just as a reminder, JASL After Dark is brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. We provide free HIV and syphilis testing. If you are at risk of contracting HIV, we also provide PrEP for free, which is a medication, a pill to prevent HIV. But if you're living with HIV and you're not on treatment, we provide free HIV treatment, care, and support. So contact us today at 876-925-0021. That's it for JASL After Dark. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Jostle after dark. Jostle after dark. Jostle after dark. What can't talk in the day? In the night part.